I never thought I would get to see like Spidey and Ghost Rider or Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider like interacting, and I'm not even sure if I've seen it in a comic book. But I love both characters, and the fact that I get to see both of them just kind of like chilling and hanging out in this game is really cool. I felt like the writing in here and just everyone's interactions was pretty cool. I liked the dialogue, the jokes, the banter. Like it's pretty funny. While the majority is gonna be famous ones like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, etc., it was still cool seeing at least Robbie, Nico from the Runaways, Magic, and they didn't feel like forced into the story. Like them being here kind of made sense to me, and like they were, I don't know, they felt kind of relevant. I really loved how this game pretty much just felt like a big comic book event adapted into a video game. And I mean, that's basically what it is, right? But I just mean, like, no one felt like a new hero or anything. They were all pretty much established. They all have their comic book origins or very similar to their comic book origins. And there's a ton of dialogue. Like, if you want to learn their origins, you don't know a hero that well, you can speak to them, kind of like how I'm speaking to Peter right now, and they'll just give you their backstory. They'll tell you, like, how they started, their relationships with their friends. If you read the comics, you'll be like, oh, that's Robbie's little brother. Or Nico will tell you about the runaways that she was with before the Midnight Suns. Like, it's really cool. Something I appreciate with all that dialogue is the fact that it's all fully voice acted. And the voice acting is really good, in my opinion. I love your Lowenthal's Peter. He's the one that does it for the Insomniac Spider Man. And I think he just kills it as Peter every time. Giancarlo, he's newer to me. I don't know if he's done other stuff, but I thought his Robbie was great. Nico, I recognized Nico instantly because I really liked the Hulu Runaways show, and they actually got the live action actor for Nico to do the game voice as well. So I thought that was awesome. I love Black Dynamite, and so when I heard Michael J. White as Blade, I was like right away. I was like, "What? No way!" That was probably the biggest surprise in the voice cast for me. So this game has a bit of exploring you can do. This is the map. One thing I didn't like about the map is that it never opens like centered on me. So the icon is that, the hunter icon is you. I would kind of prefer it to just be like an arrow like most games or something. Because I kind of forget the icon or whatever. Like there's just so many random icons on the map, right? But yeah, that map never opened, centered on me already, and there is no button to just center it on you. So you always got to kind of like look for that hunter icon and memorize it and just like, okay, that's where I'm at. Another thing is you can't like pin anything. Like I wish I could just press X on these icons and then exit my map and then like run towards the icon. But no, I found myself like looking at something, getting out the map, running forward, getting lost, looking at the map again. So yeah, wish I could pin it. Speaking of the map, once you do have something you need to do, like speak to someone, for instance, so you can hang out, you'll see it in the bottom right, which is the mini map button. And so yeah, you can click on that and then look for a hero who wants to hang out, and they'll have this little heart over them. So pretty much they all want to hang out right now. So I'll go talk to them, join a hangout. So you can build up your friendship meter with characters, and it's pretty cool. You can go do like a variety of things: fishing, stargazing, chill in the pool, and then have dialogue with them. And they're definitely worth doing because if you have a hero you like to play with, you should always max out their friendship because you're gonna unlock passives and cosmetic rewards. So yeah, always go out of your way to hang out with them. So you can customize the heroes' costumes. You can customize their swimwear, I guess, for when you go swimming. I don't think you can like use this during a fight. It's not very practical, right? And then their Abbey outfit, which is what they're going to be wearing when they're just chilling around the Abbey when you go talk to them if they want to hang out and stuff. And then their combat outfit, which is when you're actually fighting, playing, and using those characters. You can switch those around, and they'll even have like color palettes to swap with. And then there are skins that are going to cost money, unfortunately, as you can see here, Eclipse credits. Of course, that's optional, so I don't know. I try not to judge too much, but I do miss the days of just being able to unlock like every skin just by playing the game. So you do get to make your own character, and I'm usually not like too like invested in making my own character. It's not a big deal for me, but this is one of like the most like basic character creators ever. You can see there's not many eye colors, faces, but thankfully you will unlock a few more as you play the game. You can go to your room and customize it a bit further by unlocking them, which for me, I usually at least want red eyes and white hair, which, yeah, you can unlock that. So there won't be many options to choose from, but hopefully they at least have something you'll be interested in. You don't get new hairstyles as far as I know though, which was kind of disappointing. So it says room upgrades right here, but I don't think they actually like do anything, but it's just if you want to like customize it a bit. Makes me think of like The Sims or something. Or you can like change your bed, like sheets, I guess. I don't know, it's just stuff for people who are into that, I guess. I think it's better to have stuff like this than not. If you want, you can explore and find stuff like Tony's armor, or maybe some Doctor Strange items, like the Orb of Agamotto, or his cape even. And there's also collectibles in the game which will give you like custom costumes or even like passives, so they're worth finding. Something that took me a second to realize was if there's no like objectives or anything highlighted on the map or in the top left it doesn't say any objectives, then that usually just means you're pretty much done with the day and you just gotta go back to your room and rest. Then when you get up, you should be able to talk to everyone. You'll have new objectives. You'll be able to go on missions. I think you can go on a mission like once a day. But yeah, it probably explained that to me once. I think it did, but I just forgot about it or it just escaped my mind and I just had to like remember that. And while I have some new objectives, I can actually use the D-pad and kind of like scroll through them. And I can toggle a waypoint through here. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I don't know why I can't do this just normally with the map. Like I can only toggle waypoints right here. I can just toggle it, see where it wants me to go forward. But yeah, you can't do that normally. Like if I try using X on any of these, it doesn't toggle a waypoint. Like the game's clearly capable of doing it. It's just only certain things. It's so weird. One of the coolest things about this game is it's like a card tactics RPG game. Like it's so much fun. The gameplay, like I'm having fun just like walking around the place, talking to all the heroes. But honestly, my favorite part is the actual gameplay. So you're gonna have to get cards and build decks and stuff, like I did right now. And there's also like this research, which will do things like you seeing right now. I opened that card pack and I got 3 cards, but at the research bench, you can actually get an upgrade that lets you get 4 cards. So after going on a mission or waiting until the next day or whatever, like the research will take a bit, right? I have it upgraded now, and so when I open the card packs or the coils, which are like card packs, I'll now get 4 cards. And so the card packs will be based on the heroes you took on a mission, I believe the game told me. So I use Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, and Nico. So I'm gonna get cards for those 3 heroes. And so right now I'm allowed to pick 2 of the 4 cards, and you can press show details and then show upgrade. And so what you want to do is you want to get duplicates of cards you really like, and you can use them to upgrade the card to do additional things. So like on Captain Marvel, you can upgrade this card to draw another card. Instead of 3, you'll draw 4. And then Photon Beam increases the width. This one you won't notice at first, but it's actually 5 damage increase, so kind of like 50% damage increase, which is awesome. On Knockout, you draw a card. Basically, if this card kills someone, you'll draw another Captain Marvel card. I love that if I didn't know what something did, so for instance, if I upgrade Spidey Sense, it gets 1 resist, and I didn't know what 1 resist did. So if I show the details, the game will just say, prevents all damage on the next attack. And so it would help me determine like what was worth upgrading, you know? One more thing on top of like having the duplicates is you're gonna need essence, and so you can see the 3 essences at the top. Right now I don't have enough attack essence, and so there's 2 ways to get this, probably more. But you can either run around to Abbey and find like these little glowing things, essences or credits or whatever. Or if you want, you can just go to your inventory and look at the cards you have available. If they're right here, I believe that means they're not in any decks. So these are all like extra cards I have. And so depending on the card you destroy, that's what essence you'll get. So like I'm hovering over a heroic card, I can salvage it and I'll get heroic essence. And it's the same with the other ones. If I salvage a attack card, I'll get attack essence and skill essence, etc. While I'm still at the yard, I might as well talk about the daily sparring. So you can see my training level. You want to upgrade that by sparring every chance you get. Just because those are usually going to be like environmental buffs, which is always like a big thing you should take advantage of in the gameplay. And then if you upgrade the sparring through like research or whatever, you'll eventually be able to increase your character's stats. So yeah, if you want the permanent stats, the friendship levels, and all this good stuff, just make sure you don't skip out on that. Plus other upgrades at the yard can be like this one, which allows you to knock enemies into your teammate. Because if you don't have this upgrade, then you'll just hurt your teammate doing that. So always go out of your way to upgrade literally everything. Also, you'll probably notice the branding on the punching bag is Rand Athletics, which is Danny Rand, aka the Iron Fist. The game has like a ton of references like that. So another thing you can do is these caches you'll get eventually. You can like decrypt them, they'll give you some missions, and these aren't like regular missions that you can do. You kind of send like a hero you're not going to use on your next mission to go do it. So I got these two. One will give me a common ability, one will give me an epic ability. Obviously I want that one because higher rarity means better card. It will have a level requirement, so I'll have to send one of my stronger characters, but it's worth it. I mean, who doesn't want the epic cards, right? In the Super Link tab, you'll get like funny bulletin messages, like interactions with all the characters, but you also get text messages, which can kind of be like side quests in this game, and it has like an annoyance for two reasons. One, you can't track these things, like you gotta keep checking the text, and then two, the items you need to even do this side quest are kind of just like tedious to find. So she wants some wolfsbane and some mushrooms, and so I click on them and it just gives me like a small description. So I check my map, and of course it doesn't open like centered on my player, so I gotta go down here where I am. There's nothing on my map like indicating where these items are, so I'm just kind of running around trying to find them, tapping buttons. There's no like detective mode type thing that highlights anything in the area. So yeah, it's like kind of annoying just trying to find this stuff. Every now and then you'll get a request from a hero, and they will give you rewards, which are sometimes permanent stats. So Peter here is giving me the chance at 10 resilience or 10 fortitude. I end up going with the resilience, and you can look at all the stats and it'll show you what they do. Just make sure you're informed on what your stats are doing. That way, when you upgrade them either through like these requests or the sparring, you get what you want. So you can have like bigger AoE on your spells or whatever. And you will be able to craft abilities. So any card you've obtained, you can craft another one. That way you can upgrade it. And yeah, there's a lot of cards in this game, especially when you take into account the fact that you can mod them. So yeah, there is a lot of like builds you can do in here. It's crazy because modding gives you things like draw another card, apply bleed to cards that don't have them, get an extra move on your turn. It's a lot. So finally, time for my favorite part of the game, which is the actual gameplay using the decks we're building. And there's so much variety in here. You can pick 3 heroes, and so right now I have Nico, Spider-Man, and Captain Marvel, and I used a spell that was randomly gonna hit a target, and if it killed them, it'll randomly hit another target. Like Nico's whole thing is like a lot of RNG randomness, which is kind of funny. So there's a couple mechanics in the gameplay. There's card plays, which you're gonna be able to play a certain amount of cards per turn. There's gonna be ways to refund card plays, like if it says quick on them and you knock out the enemy with that card, basically it won't consume a card play, which is awesome. Also, depending on the card you play, it will generate heroism, which is where the arrow's pointing right now. It shows a little icon and then a number in it. So yeah, however much that number is, that's how much heroism that card will generate. And heroism is going to be needed to do certain things like playing heroic cards or interacting with environmentals. You can also move a character, and so I did get an upgrade that allows me to just shove enemies or knock them back without using any cards or even a card play. And then you'll see this thing right here. You'll see the one above it that costs 1 heroism to use it, and I have 1 heroism. So again, I have no card plays, but I have the heroism. I can use it to interact with the environment, and then I can take that guy out, and this is all with no card plays. So you really want to utilize like everything because it all counts. Your card plays, your redraws, your movement, your positioning, like it all just felt so strategic. Like, I don't know, I felt like a mastermind tactician or something. I love it. So like right here, I had to stop Venom because he was gonna do like this big old AoE. So I used Spidey Sense to draw some cards because I know I have a card in my deck that will stun him and interrupt it. And I luckily drew it. Afterwards, I was in a tight spot because I had no cards to play, so I redrew one of Nico's. I got Chain Strike for Spidey, so I was able to use it to free Captain Marvel. That counts as a knockout, which allows me to hit another target. Once she was freed, I moved her over here. I wanted to position her correctly for Photon Beam because it's just like a giant Kamehameha. And so it would hit both of these targets. You can even knock enemies off the map. So yeah, just anytime you see something that you might be able to use in the environment, whether it's a crane or if you see like there's no railing, you can maybe knock them off. Just always keep the environment in mind because you should be able to use it to your advantage. You can never go wrong having some good music, and the music in here is pretty simple, but honestly it was really relaxing. So I approve. Of course, you need good battle music, which was pretty good too. So I think if you're interested in strategy games or turn-based games, tactics, whatever you want to call it, I think this one is actually really good. It's probably one of my favorites now, and I'm sad I didn't give it a chance sooner. I'm doing this review like a year late, but I'm so glad I finally got around to playing it. So overall, I gotta give the game a 9 out of 10. It was super addicting. It was so much fun building your deck and then just making it stronger and stronger. Eventually you get mods on your cards to make them even better. And then you're just leveling your characters. You're getting these stats, these passives. Then characters will have unique stuff like how Captain Marvel can go into binary mode or Iron Man can redraw cards to buff them. But also just whoever was in charge of the writing did an amazing job. Like even here, I love how Tony references that he don't touch alcohol no more since he was an alcoholic in the comics at one point. And I love spending time with all the heroes. Even if they weren't my favorite, I have definitely grown attached to them now. And like I'd even buy their comics. It was so good. So the writing, the gameplay, it was just all phenomenal. I loved it. Honestly, the game is near perfect. It's just I do wish it had like a 2 times speed during the combat sections because I found myself restarting the missions quite a few times because yeah, it's kind of difficult. Which I'm not complaining about the difficulty. It's just that yeah, sometimes I have to redo a mission a few times, and so just sitting there starting over, watching the animations can be a bit draining. So I just wish I could speed it up a bit just because it's kind of common in other games nowadays. And maybe give me like actual official quests instead of having to like check my text messages when I have to find like items. And also just like mark the items that I need to find on the mini map or something. That way I could find them easier because it was, like I said, tedious. But yeah, other than that, the game is amazing. It's so much fun. And my only regret is just not playing it sooner.
For what? Kid's annoying. You'd be doing me a favor by keeping him off my back. Do half vampires need sunblock? Can your fangs drain a cream-filled cake? If we bite each other, would we have the same powers? It never ends.